Hi, it's Jace from drpremed.com. I want to talk to you today about your medical school personal statement. The medical school personal statement needs to be taken very, very seriously by any pre-med student who's applying to medical school. Now, we all know that MCAT and GPA, those mean a lot to AdComs. But you know what else also matters? Your personal statement. And so right now, at this point in time, there's probably only one thing that you absolutely have 100% control over when it comes to applying to medical school. That's your personal statement, because unlike your GPA, which is already set in stone by all those courses that you've already taken as a pre-med student, you really can't do anything about that. It's really hard to improve your GPA. And with the MCAT, I don't want to say it's hit or miss, but it's not like you're walking into the MCAT knowing exactly what's going to be tested, how the questions are going to be asked of you. It's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse and see who can outsmart the test writer. So you really don't have 100% control over that. But with your personal statement, you have absolutely 100% control over that. You're going in there and you're able to write whatever you want. You can convey, you can make the story, you want to speak about yourself in the most positive light perspective possible, and that's all available to you because you can edit your personal statement, you can write multiple drafts of it, you can take time to review it, look over it, and do everything possible to make sure that you stand out for your medical school personal statement. And why your personal statement matters is because all things being equal between two equally qualified students. That means students who have similar GPAs, students who scored similar on the MCAT. Do you know what's going to be the deciding factor of who gets in or not? It's going to come down to your personal statement, because this is your chance to come off the paper and let AdComs know who you are as a person. What drives you? What motivates you? What do you bring to the field of medicine? What are you going to bring to a medical school? Why should we take all of our talent, all of our expertise, and put that into you to make sure that you become a doctor by admitting you to our medical school? That's what AdComs want to know, and that's what you need to get across in your medical school personal statement. Unfortunately, how you write about yourself isn't something that's really taught. I know people do resumes, and that's just easily, you just put down all your background experience, and people think your personal statement is just a resume and paragraph form. That is the furthest thing from the truth. You do not want to have your personal statement be a resume and prose is what they say, because we already have your medical school application. I already can see all your activities that you completed, so just going over those activities again is not doing anything to distinguish yourself from everybody else who's applying to medical school. So you want to make sure that you're not doing that. You want to really stand out from the crowd, and how you do that matters. The first thing that you need to do is you have to think about an AdCom. Let's say I'm an AdCom, maybe I'm a physician as well. So I spent a lot of time in a hospital, and it's application season. So after doing all my clinical duties, I come home, it's late at night, and then I have this big stack of applications that I need to read. And so I pull one up. Okay, let's see what we have to write. Imagine there's an application in front of me, so I'm not just talking to myself. I know that there's no paper in front of me to read off of, but let's just say for purposes there's a paper in front of me. Okay, so I pull out the application, I'm looking at it, reading over it. Okay, toss it to the side, move on to the next one. Okay, pull up another one. Oh, wow. Look at this one. Really engaging right from the first sentence. I'm really engrossed. There's a little bit of a cliffhanger here. I read a little bit more. Okay, this is all cohesive, put together really well. I can really see what this person is about. They're really telling me things I wouldn't have found anywhere else in their application. So now when I look at this application, I'm like, oh, wow, I want to save this. I'm going to put this in my special pile over here. This pile over here, those are the ones that I'm going to go back to the admissions committee and say, we have to invite this kid in for a medical school interview. You have to remember, that's the number one purpose of your medical school personal statement, is to get you invited to a medical school interview. So you have to do everything possible to make that a reality so you can move ahead and move on to the next step of getting into medical school. And I see that as students make a lot of mistakes when it comes to writing their medical school personal statement. One of the things is some of the topics that they choose to write about. There's certain topics that we've just seen ad nauseum, and it does absolutely nothing to move your application forward when you're applying to medical school. One of the topics is education. We hear this all the time, how education is so important to me. Maybe you have relatives, parents, even grandparents who are immigrants, and they just told you the importance of getting an education, and you want to go into medicine because lifelong learning, the pursuit of education, and all of this, yada, yada, yada. You just put us to sleep. We've seen that a million times. You need to be a little bit more creative than that. Another one is people say they were in an anatomy class, they had a biology class or something like that, and what happened was they were just in there and looking at whatever they were dissecting. It was just so amazing. They were so intrigued by it that they said they just wanted to explore the human body, and that's why they wanted to pursue medicine, because of that moment in so-and-so's class, anatomy lab, just really gave them this compelling desire to really learn the intricacies of the human body, and they can just imagine them doing that for the rest of their lives. So that's why they want to be a doctor. So we hear that. So we hear that one, and a little bit better than the first or whatever, because that's like more first-hand experience. And another one that we hear is, I shadow Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones is the best. Dr. Jones is so dedicated to medicine. He spends all his time answering all his patient questions. He has just a great, gentle bedside manner. All the nurses love Dr. Jones. I want to be like Dr. Jones when I grew up. Dr. Jones is the epitome of medicine and everything that it entails. So I want to be like Dr. Jones. And you know what? Don't do that. You know why? That's great if you're writing a letter of recommendation for Dr. Jones to say all about that, because you just wrote him a glowing review, and we're going to be like, wow, we want doctors like Dr. Jones treating our family members. But you know what? You just totally missed the whole boat of your personal statement. You're writing to get yourself in the medical school, not talk about how special and how great Dr. Jones is. That does nothing to move your application forward. And you want to make sure that you're not making these types of mistakes. I see it all the time. And so let's just recap quickly the 3 things I went over that you don't want to do. First, you don't want to talk about education being one main factor why you want to be in medicine. Other one is about anatomy lab and spending your whole life like learning about the human body and all. And then the third one is Dr. Jones and how great some physician is, and you want to be just like them. There's ways to incorporate these things into your medical school personal statement, but you don't want that to be the overriding theme of your medical school application, because it's not going to get you in, because it's not moving the needle forward. Whereas at AdCom, I want to know, who are you and what makes you special? What are you going to bring to the field of medicine? What are you going to do to my medical school class to make it interesting, compelling, where I want to invite you into a medical school interview? That's what you got to remember. And let me tell you about myself. So, hi, my name is Jason Spears. I'm the founder of drpremed.com, and I have been helping students for the past several years get into medical school. And actually, my superpower, when you think about it, I'm not like a fantasy thinking like, oh, I'm a superhero or anything like that, but we'll just use that as a theme talking point. My superpower would be actually writing medical school personal statements. Last year, 100% of the students who work with me on their medical school personal statement, they got admitted somewhere. They got admitted to one of the programs that they were applying to. So if you want to have success rate, I can definitely do that for you, because I take a very unique approach from your personal statement. I know what you as a student want to say and convey to the AdComs, admissions committee, but I also take in the perspective of the people on the other side of the table who are also reading your personal statement. And so when we put those 2 pieces together, you're going to come out with a very, very strong personal statement that meets the needs of both what you want to say as a student when you're competing against everybody else who's applying, and also what the AdComs are looking for in the incoming students who are applying to medical school. So I'll help you put all of that together. I know one thing students are concerned about is losing their voice. They want to retain their voice. They want to continue to be who they are. I don't take that away from you. I actually help you to enhance your voice, really tell a compelling story that resonates with everybody, that you're going to be proud of, your parents are going to be proud of, whoever reads your personal statement is going to be oh my goodness, we have to meet this person. I really want to meet this person in person and see what they're all about. Because I feel like there's a structure and a theme that you need to have when you work on your medical school personal statement that students just aren't aware of. And if you don't have the structure and theme, it gets you into trouble and you're not able to progress. You're not really able to make an impact with your reader. You don't want to cover too many different topics. You don't want in the last paragraph bring in something new that you didn't discuss anywhere else, because then people are like, okay, where's that coming from? I didn't see that anywhere else, and now you're going to slip that in. You don't want to do that. No, you want to be cohesive. You want to have a strong opening, cliffhanger, something that's going to grab somebody's attention. Then you want to just dive in on 2 to 3 main topic points and make sure they all relate to each other, have great transitions between paragraphs, and all that good stuff. I can go on, and then you want to wrap up in your concluding paragraph and make the case of why you, why medicine, and why you should be admitted. If you're able to do that, you're going to get in, you're going to get those interviews, and life is going to be great. Because right now, you're competing against so many students. Some schools, let's say a school has 150 spots in an incoming class. That's actually a pretty big medical school when you think about it. You're probably like shocked when you think about your undergrad, but no, that's actually a lot of people for a medical school. So you have 150 people in an incoming class, and that medical school is going to get 12,000 applications for 150 spots. And out of those 150 spots, they're probably going to only interview about 2,000 students at most, just because of the time that it's going to take for that. So that's a lot that they're going to whittle down from, and the only way that you're going to get that interview is after you have your numbers, obviously, is if you have that compelling personal statement that stands out, that really connects with the reader, and that's what you want to do. And I'll also tell you this is one pet peeve that AdComs have of the personal statements that they read, is that students aren't personable enough in their personal statement. What this means is you don't want to really delve into your feelings, your emotions, what you thought about things, your why, what's really important to you. You kind of want to gloss things over. You want to be superficial, but that's not going to get the job done for getting into medical school. Now, you don't make sob stories or talk about things that are immature or that you want to bring up on an interview, but it's helping the AdComs get to know who you are as a person. That's what you want to do, and because some people get confused when I say that, you need to be more personable in that personal statement. So I just want to be clear about that when we're talking about your medical school essay, so we're all on the same page of what's going on with that process. And so I actually really enjoy working with students, helping them do what they need to do for their personal statement. So if you're a student right now, you're struggling, you know you need to get working on your medical school personal statement before the mad rush when it's like June, applications open, and everybody and their mother, brother, cousin, uncle, whoever is knocking on somebody's door to read their personal statement. Try to get that stuff done early, because you don't want to be in a jam where readers are just too busy and they don't have time. And one thing you don't want to do is, I know people like to go online, Reddit, Student Doctor Network, and all of that stuff, and find people who will read your personal statement, but you don't know that person. You don't know if they're going to sabotage you. You don't know if they're going to share your personal statement with the world. So why would you do that? Be very cognizant and aware of what you're doing. Remember how I said there's going to be 12,000 people applying to one medical school for only 150 spots? That means there's going to be competition through the roof. And so people are going to do things. People are going to do things to mess you up. They're going to maybe tell you something's good when it's not, or they're just not going to have the attention and the time span to really give your application what it deserves. And why you want to make sure you're working with somebody who's qualified in doing your personal statement is because you only get one chance, one shot for your medical school personal statement. What I need to tell you is, once you hit submit, you have one personal statement that goes out to all the medical schools you're applying to. So if you're applying to 20 medical schools, they're all going to get that one personal statement. So let's say you apply to 20 medical schools, got it out there, you hit submit on your application, and you're looking through like, oh my goodness, I made an error in my personal statement, I need to change something, I need to fix it. Guess what? You can't fix it. Once it hits submit, you're not allowed to go in there and edit and make any changes. That's final. And so if you mess that up, you just messed up for 20 schools. How is that going to help you get into medical school? It's not. So that's why you need to take this thing very seriously, because it's going to affect every single part of your medical school application and the rest of your future and career of being a doctor. Now, if you do get it right, you're going to get so many interviews that it's going to just knock your socks off, and you're going to be like some of my students I work with. They're going to say, you know what? I have too many interviews. This school isn't ranked too high on my list, so I'm just not even going to go to the interview. That happens. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're praying and hoping that you just get one interview, because that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get into medical school with that one interview. So you want to give yourself options, and the way to do that is to have a very strong, well put medical school personal statement that really meets all objectives of what you're trying to convey and what AdComs are looking for in students. And now a little bit about myself also. I was a political science major in undergrad, so I'm used to writing. I really enjoy it. I have my Dr. Pre-Med website. There's about 200 pages on there. I don't even know how many blog posts. We can multiply that just to get into the total number. So that means I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of writing, wrote a thesis, and all of that good stuff. So I enjoy writing, and I enjoy working with students, because I know the stress of trying to get into medical school and all of that. I'm a fourth-year medical student, so I've been through the hoops and hurdles, did the whole process again, personal statement, applying to residency programs. So I'm very, very one-on-one with it, and I know exactly what's going on, because I personally just went through it for medical school residencies, and so it's not like I'm out of touch and I'm going to tell you something to put in your personal statement that's just not relevant. It's not going to get the job done, so you can trust me in that regard. And I don't just look over it for content and grammar. Anybody can do that. I'm really digging in and seeing what type of impression are you checking off the things that people in the medical field want to know. Because you get some English and lit majors who are like, yeah, I do personal statement editing, come send it to me. But you know what? Those content and those topic areas, they know nothing about it. If they've never applied to medical school, if they're not in medical school, if they're not a physician, they just don't understand the process. So they're great for your grammar and stuff like that, but they're not going to tell you don't write about Dr. Jones. They're not going to tell you don't write about education. They might tell you, oh, that's great, talk about education, talk about how your parents were immigrants or your grandparents were immigrants, or oh wow, that's so cool how you did that stuff in anatomy lab and now you want to spend the rest of your life learning about the human body. They're going to tell you that because they're not trying to do you a disservice. They just don't know any better. And so you want to find people who know better, know what's going on, and who can help you get to the next level. Now, I typically don't like to brag, but people like to know stats. They like to know what's going on. And so, as I said before, I had a 100% success rate of all the students I worked with in the last cycle get in. They're thriving. I get text messages, emails, and all of that. Thank you, Jason. Yada yada yada. I'm going to this school, or I'm not going to. Do you think I should cancel this interview? All right, can you now help me with medical school interview prep, because I have all this stuff going on. I'm just so excited for you. That's all great and everything like that. And I want that to happen to you. So that's why I'm talking to you right now. And so if you want this help, if you want me to take a look at your medical school personal statement to help you get to the next level so that you can stand out, so you can be that diamond in the rough that actually has everything there and you can get to the next level, reach out to me. It's Jason. You can find me at drpremed.com, and you'll see more information where you can reach out to me. I look forward to all of your success, help you in the next stage, helping you get to the next level. And I want you to take your medical school personal statement very seriously, because if you have your numbers and your stats, which are pretty much set in stone, you have complete control over your personal statement. So don't play around with it. Don't think it's something you do last minute. You need to really think about it critically and figure out what you're trying to do, and make sure that you have all the components that are going to help you stand out, answer why medicine, why you. And if you do that, and if you write that compelling statement that just is like a masterpiece that stands out, you're going to get into medical school. you're going to be a doctor. You're going to have your white coat ceremony. Your family and friends are going to be so excited for you. People are going to look at you differently when you say you're a medical student or you're about to be a doctor, because it's just something. It's a very noble call, and it takes a lot of work to make it happen. And people have a lot of respect for that. And just imagine walking across the stage, getting put into your white coat as the dean calls your name, friends, family applauding. There's my son, there's my daughter. They're going to be the next physician in the family, and all of that great stuff. So the opportunity is yours. It's right before you right now. But it all begins with taking control and being very serious about putting together your medical school personal statement. So I talk a lot about this topic. You have enough information. If you want to work with me, I'm more than happy to work with you and help you get to the next level, because I want you to succeed and have all success and just live your life in the best way possible, because I couldn't imagine anything else other than being a doctor. It's just great feeling walking in the hospital, treating patients, making a difference in lives. And so that's what you want to do. If you're really interested in making this happen for yourself, reach out to me and I'll get you squared away, and I'm going to really dig deep on your personal statement. We'll make some edits, we'll make some revisions, and you're going to walk away with something that you never knew you had in you, that now you can give to the world, to the AdComs, and they're going to be like, wow, we want this person. This is what this person embodies, all that we're looking for in future doctors. And so I look forward to helping you on your journey to medical school and beyond. Again, this is Jason with drpremed.com. Take care.